Hey there, everybody. This is John. Why can't we all just get along? Lily White, and I'm your mortgage lighthouse. I steer you clear of troubling waters. Today, I'm going to talk about how your credit can affect your ability to buy a house. It's clearly one of the very most important things when it comes to buying a house is your ability to repay it. Obviously, there's things like assets and income that come into play, but if your credit is shot or it's questionable, well, then you might as well not even go any further. Well, that's what we're going to talk about here. All right. I'm going to hit you up with several tips that will make things a little easier for you to understand. I'm going to rush through them really quickly. So that if you continue to have questions with them, then feel free to give me a call back and be more than happy to go through them in a bit bigger and grander detail. All right, the first one is tip one. What you find on Credit Karma, what you're finding on freecreditreport.com is not your credit score. There are thousands of algorithms that are used in order to determine what your credit score is. And the more important the debt is, the more conservative the algorithm is to figure out that credit score. So what I have seen in the past is when you're looking at Credit Karma and you're looking at some of these other scores, they're at least 20, 30, sometimes 100 points different. So it's important that just because you pulled your credit, you don't base all of your buying ideas and intentions on those. Because I'll tell you what, you will be disappointed, especially when you go and buy a house that uses an ultra-conservative credit report. The second one is use the profile that they being whoever it is you're attempting to purchase something uses. Whether it's a department store using or when you're buying a refrigerator, or whether it's a car dealer, you're buying a car, or specifically in my case, if you're buying a house, use my credit report. Don't use anybody else's. Again, remember, when you're buying a house, that's probably the most ultra-conservative credit report that you're going to get, and that is where your credit report, your credit score is going to be the least, right? Now, if you buy a car, your credit score is going to maybe be a little bit higher because they use a different algorithm. It's important for you to understand how that works. Third one, as much as you may want to, don't use a credit cleansing company, please. For the most part, while they, I'm sure, care about you, they're making money on cleaning your credit, and there's not a lot they can do. They're restricted by consumer credit laws to not make promises they can't keep, and so they can't overstep their bounds. They can tell you hints and tips on things that might work, but for the most part, they're going to make you do most of the work, and they're going to use some of their intelligence. Absolutely, they're going to use that, and we're going to get into that. But the fact is, before you do this, talk with whoever it is you are wanting to buy from and get their ideas about how to work on that first, okay? Then, when you do talk to that person, just ask them. You see, it's really interesting. People don't even want to ask, is my credit okay to qualify? They don't want to go there. They're afraid of what the answer might be. You know what? People, don't be afraid of what that answer is. Just go out there and deal with it. We've all had bad credit. We know. So it's okay to ask that question. In fact, 50% of the solution is asking the question, and then you're going to get to that point of, okay, now, what do we need to do to fix it up? Which is the next one. This is important. This is where I'm getting. Ask your lender, whoever that is, more specifically on the house side, whether they will do something called a what-if scenario. This is a process by which the lender will do more research by reaching out to the bureaus and asking it's called a what-if scenario, by changing the debts, by moving money around from one debt to another. Can anything be done that can increase the credit scores? Most of the time it can. Maybe not by a lot, but maybe significantly. The point is, you won't know until you actually ask if a what-if scenario can be done. I do these. I love doing these. They cost lenders money, and it's something that you can't pay for, but we can pay for. And it's important that you ask. And if your lender will not do that, then go to one that does. Just say thank you so much, appreciate your time, especially if you don't qualify and you don't know why it is that you're not qualifying. And most lenders will just send you a letter saying, I'm sorry, you've been denied because of bad credit. You know, that's not fair. If you're going to align yourself with somebody, make sure that that lender aligns completely and totally with you for they can follow you down that path. And if they won't follow you down that path, then find another lender. Seriously, I would ask this from any service provider. People, we've all had bad credit. And if someone has said that they've never had bad credit in their history, they're lying to you. Everybody has faced some kind of a life challenge that affected their credit somehow. We just deal with it. It's okay. But it takes time, right? Nothing like this is going to change overnight. Even when we are able to do things called rapid rescores, where we can change credit scores right away after we've made some kind of change through the what if scenario, it still takes time. But you know what? If you commit to it, your scores will increase. But it requires you to say, okay, now we're going to make the scores go better. And most important part of this, don't do it alone. You got to find that person, that company, that loan person that you trust and stick with them through the process. If they made the commitment to help you, then allow them to help you. Ask questions. Ask relevant questions. But don't waste their time, right? When you get on the phone, make sure that you're doing what you need to do on your side in order to tackle that credit challenge and finally get yourself up to the top there where you want to be. And if you're working with someone that knows what credit is all about, they're going to be able to tell you what you can achieve and when you can achieve that. You will buy a home someday. And if credit is an issue that's keeping you from it, then that's just one piece and you're more than 50% there. With that, I thank you. I hope to hear from you, and I hope that this presentation has done a good job in helping you with whatever it is you want on your credit journey. Call me if there's anything I can do. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.